Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you again, and what a full house. And the importance of this community and what we want to see in Los Angeles. Because it is about quality of life. It's about our neighborhoods, and it's about the traffic that you see, because all of us have experienced it. Because I don't know, but how many of you have been in that night where you just want to get on the 405, because I'm coming from the west side to go to the valley, and you can't get on, right? This is, no, you can't get on a Church Lane, but no, you can't get on Sunset, but no, you can't get on West and Wilshire. I almost had to go to Pico one day to do that. It's an issue, our quality of life. And I'm running for mayor not only to bring good jobs back to the city of Los Angeles, to make sure we have a good educational system, and yes, to deal with our transportation problems and challenges. A few years ago, I was here, I met with your board on numerous occasions to say, how do we deal with it? You rightly showed Santa Monica, because how many of you remember that the traffic went downtown and not going west in the mornings? I'm old enough, you already told me how old I am, because you said how long ago. Okay, and what happened? It's now going to the west side. Why? Because they created jobs and not enough housing that was right near there. And we didn't create enough jobs in the city of Los Angeles. So first and foremost, we have to be a more business-friendly city. We have to be able to keep some of the jobs. How many of you are somehow impacted by the entertainment industry? Somewhere, your family, whatever, okay? Well, you're an unusual crowd, because I didn't see as many hands up as normal. But guess what? It's our creative industry. It's a place where if you were in New York, I like to say, New York doesn't want Wall Street to leave, Los Angeles didn't let Hollywood leave. Because it's not just the jobs that you get in front of the camera or the back of the camera, it's the jobs that you get if you're a dry cleaner, if you are a caterer, if you're a security officer, if you're a hairdresser, whatever it may be. We have to be a more business-friendly city, and I'm proud as a member of the California Film Commission of looking at ways in which we can keep our businesses here. But we have some exciting things about Silicon Beach and creating those kinds of businesses, to looking at our clean tech corridor, to looking at incubators around our major universities that we have in the city of Los Angeles. But as we think about the future, we think about jobs that we want to create. If you're opening up a business, what would you like to make sure is you have a good workforce? Now, I'm a proud graduate of LAUSD. My son goes to LAUSD, but guess what? Today, the kind of education you get depends on what zip code you have. That's wrong. When 50% some of our schools are dropping out. And we need to look at a better way in which we get our educational system down to the local level, down to each of our schools, and make sure that the kids get the kind of education they need and the resources. That the state of California that owes Los Angeles Unified School District $900 million, guess what? That they actually get it. That we break up that bureaucracy so that the dollars are getting down to the children. But it's also about traffic. Because if you want to have a business-friendly city, you want to create revenue to fix your streets, fix your sidewalks, be able to have your synchronization of lights, you need to be able to have a city that has a good transportation system as well. And that public transportation system we have, for once in a lifetime, and hopefully in our lifetime, we will see some of these transportation systems actually come to fruition. Whether it is subway to the sea, whether it's actually having a transportation system that goes into an airport instead of having to go a mile to actually get there, take a bus to get inside. To looking at synchronization of our lights and left-hand turn signals, and you showed in those models, those are some of the things we do, common sense solutions. But the next mayor is going to have to make sure that we have our fiscal house in order, because none of this can happen unless we do. And I'm proud to have been the city controller, and yes, looking out at waste, fraud, and abuse and ways in which we can ensure that our money's been spent wisely. And some of you may have read my audits where we looked at everything from how our fuel is purchased, and that we couldn't tell you from $7 million worth of fuel where it was going, to looking at making sure that we have performance-based budgeting in the city of Los Angeles, to making sure that our money is being spent when we have response times in the fire department. So I'm here tonight because I don't just want to be the mayor, I want to do the job of mayor. The job of mayor means improving your neighborhoods and quality of life. The job of mayor means making sure that our streets are repaired, making sure that our fire response times and that our fire department isn't shortchanged. Because if you live in some of these communities, it takes a longer time, because guess what? There's a lot of traffic. And it's not taken into consideration when you look at response times. But most importantly, we want a city that we can be proud of. We want a city that we can say our children and grandchildren can achieve their hopes and dreams. We want a city where you look at our 405, and instead of us having all of the challenges on top of the 405, that we go underneath the 405, and we make that happen, so that if you live in the San Fernando Valley, you don't have to drive through your neighborhoods to actually get to their jobs. If you live on the west side, you don't have to get in your car. If you want to have a cultural evening down to the music center, that you don't decide at a certain time, you know what, I'm just not going to do it. How many of you think about you're not going to go to the music center, right? Yeah, exactly. We have to change that because it will have an impact on our cultural institutions. And so when we look, and you're going to give me the hope whenever because I can take forever, you know. But the importance of making sure that we have that public transportation system that works. That it's a public transportation system that we may not take every day, but you have the opportunity to take one time or another. Because think about it, Carmageddon weekend. Was that the best weekend ever in the city of Los Angeles? Because people changed their behaviors. We went to our neighborhood restaurant. We didn't go 10 times around, and we also, some people left town. Look at the 1984 Olympics. What was going to happen then? Everyone thought, the sky's falling. You could get anywhere in 20 minutes. But times have changed, and our quality of life has changed. And particularly for you that are west of the 405. When I meet someone, and I said, where do you live? I said, do you live west of the 405? And I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because I've been at Bundy and Sunset, and it's taken me an hour and 15 minutes to get to the 405. And it isn't just about, oh, that was a really tough day and that really frustrated. It affects our lives. You make decisions. When we were at Leo Beck Temple and had a debate, and the stories we heard about someone who said, I just didn't get to go see my grandchild so much at all. Or for me, one night when I was trying to get to my kid's school for his open house and to meet with his teacher, struggling to say, am I going to actually meet there? So the next mayor is going to be responsible for getting the job done. The next mayor is going to be the tough fiscal watchdog and the person who says, I'm willing to stand up and take on those tough issues. And so I look forward with this entity who not only meets once a year, but all the time to talk about how we improve our quality of life. And what I've particularly been impressed with this homeowners association is that you're stakeholders that are willing to roll up your sleeves and say you're going to do something about it. You're going to give our elected officials a hard time. You're going to support people like our wonderful Bill Rosendahl, who's an incredible supporter of mine, but more importantly has been an incredible council member for you, and I know was so honored to receive that award tonight. But to be able to make Los Angeles the great city that it's going to be, we have to roll up our sleeves and get it done. My 9-year-old has agreed to live next door to me for the rest of his life. And when someone says to me, why are you running for mayor? And I said, because I want to make sure he can afford to live next door to me, that he can afford to get a good job in Los Angeles, that he will not spend all of his time in traffic, and that yes, he can do anything he wants to do. Los Angeles is a great city. It's a city where I was born and raised, where my father was born and raised, where we achieved our dreams. And so I hope that as we look to the future of Los Angeles, that we'll be partners, that you as stakeholders are going to have an impact, and we're going to deal with those quality of life issues that matter to us every single day. Because, as I mentioned earlier, I don't just want to be the mayor, I want to do the job of mayor and be the mayor for all of Los Angeles, so that no matter where you live, you get the same services. You get that call, that 911, they come to you quickly. You get that call about wanting to have your street fixed and your pothole fixed, you get it done. And so I look forward to being your next mayor. I look forward to making history in Los Angeles and making sure we have the greatest city in the world. Thank you very, very much.